Caleb, Emma, Josh, and I shared a house off campus with this girl named Mia, who had just moved in a few weeks back. She was the quiet type. You know, the one who mostly keeps to themselves, but she was extremely jumpy. The girl would flinch if a door slammed too hard or if someone walked up behind her. We all noticed it, but nobody really thought much of it. That Friday, we were sitting around the living room chugging beers when Caleb brought up this TikTok prank video. Some guys pretended to break into their friend's house while he was sleeping, scaring the hell out of him. "We should totally try that on Mia," Emma giggled. "Bet she'd jump high enough to hit the ceiling." Too wasted to think straight, we nodded. Caleb grabbed a ski mask from his Halloween costume and a fake knife from the same set. Plastic, obviously, if you looked close enough. But in the dark, it could pass for real. The plan was simple. Caleb would burst in wearing the mask and scare the hell out of Mia. I'd silently record it on my phone, and we'd all laugh about it later. Maybe post the video if it was funny enough. Around 11:30, Mia went to her room. We gave her 15 minutes to settle in. Then, Caleb pulled on the mask. He slammed the front door and stomped through the house, making it sound like a break-in. "Stay quiet and you won't get hurt," he shouted. We heard Mia's door slam shut. Caleb looked back at us, grinning under the mask, and headed down the hallway. I followed with my phone recording. Emma and Josh were right behind me. Caleb kicked Mia's door open and rushed in, waving the fake knife. What happened next took maybe 3 seconds, but I remember every detail. Mia shot up from the bed with a butcher knife in her hand. She moved faster than I thought a person could move. 1 second, she was curled there. The next, she was swinging the knife like her life depended on it. The blade went straight into Caleb's side. Caleb screamed and stumbled into the hall. The ski mask slipped off his head. Blood spread across his shirt, soaking through as he fell against the wall. That's when Mia saw his face. She knew it was Caleb, but nothing stopped her. Her eyes looked wrong and empty, like she wasn't really seeing him. She just raised her knife again and drove it into his back. Emma screamed, telling her to stop, telling her it was a prank, but Mia didn't stop. She let out this raw, animal scream and came at us, the knife still dripping. Caleb was on the floor, trying to crawl away, leaving a dark trail across the wood. I grabbed Emma and yanked her back. Josh was already gone. We bolted for the bathroom at the end of the hall. I shoved Emma inside and slammed the door behind us, locking it just as Mia hit it from the other side. She started pounding. Each hit rattled the door harder than the last. "Open the door!" she screamed. "Open the door right now!" "Mia, please!" Emma sobbed, pressed against the far wall. "Please, it was just a prank! We didn't mean to hurt you!" The pounding stopped. For a second I thought she'd calmed down. Then the doorknob started shaking as if any second it'd come off its hinges. "She's gonna break it down," I whispered, scanning the room for a way out. The bathroom had a small window that opened to the side yard. I shoved Emma toward it while Emma kept jerking the handle, harder and harder. I could hear her panting through the crack in the door. Emma got the window open and climbed out. I was halfway through when I heard the wood splinter. She was breaking down the door. I fell out of the window and hit the bushes hard. Emma grabbed my arm and yanked me up. We ran around out front, hearts pounding. Our breath fogged the air. We eventually called the cops and paramedics. When the ambulance and police arrived, they found Mia sitting on the floor next to Caleb, covered in his blood. The knife was on the ground beside her, and she was rocking back and forth. The paramedics got Caleb on a stretcher and rushed him out. One of the EMTs told us that if the knife had gone half an inch to the left, he wouldn't have made it. The police separated us and took statements. And when they interrogated Mia, we got the shocking truth. She'd been attacked in her apartment 6 months before moving in with us. Some guy broke in while she was sleeping and held her at knife point for hours. She'd never told us. Just said she didn't like living alone. Her therapist confirmed she had severe PTSD. She'd have panic attacks and couldn't sleep without medication. She kept the knife by her bed because she couldn't feel safe without it. And we'd recreated her worst nightmare as a prank. The detective kept asking why we thought it was a good idea. I didn't have an answer. Caleb spent a week in the hospital. When he came home, his parents wanted to press charges against Mia, but the DA said it was self-defense. She genuinely believed that someone was attacking her. Mia moved out that same night. I haven't seen her since. The house felt wrong after that. We could still see the bloodstains on the hallway even after we scrubbed them out a dozen times. Emma moved out first, then Josh. Caleb dropped out of school. Last I heard, he's back doing therapy for PTSD now. I can't even watch prank videos without feeling sick, let alone do it. That night taught me something I wish I'd known sooner. When you mess with someone's fear, you're taking a gamble. You think it's harmless, that they'll laugh it off later, but you never really know what you're waking up to. I'd wanted to be in Jess's circle since freshman year. She was a bit reckless, but she was cool and had the right friends, and that charm that made professors love her. So, when I got paired to room with her sophomore year, it felt like hitting a jackpot. Our other roommate was Leah, this quiet girl who mostly kept to herself. She was fine, just boring. And Jess hated boring. After a few failed attempts to invite her to parties, Jess started getting annoyed. It's like living with a ghost. One night, Jess was muttering about what a stuck-up witch Leah is, and I was forcing laughter to play along. Amidst the harmless banter, Jess brought up Sora AI, which could make realistic videos of anyone doing anything. What if we make it look like our roommate isn't as innocent as she acts? That's kind of messed up, Jess. It's just a harmless prank, Riley. It'll be funny. I should have stopped her. Instead, I just sat there and watched as Jess created the videos. The first one showed Leah at the campus bookstore, slipping textbooks into her bag. The next had her cheating on an exam. Then, one of her making out with a young professor. By morning, those videos were in every group chat, campus forum, and even professors' inboxes. By lunchtime, people were filming her walking past them, adding captions like, "Liars spotted." I saw Leah that evening. She looked destroyed, like she had cried for hours. Her eyes were red and her hands were trembling. "That's not me," she kept muttering. "I'd never do that." I told Jess that maybe we should come clean, but she just rolled her eyes and said, "And ruined the joke? Relax, Riley. It'll blow over by tomorrow." But it didn't. That night, Leah didn't sleep. I could hear her pacing for hours, muttering that people were watching her through their screens. Around midnight, the door slammed open. I jolted up. Leah was standing in the doorway, backlit by the hallway. In her right hand, she was holding the kitchen scissors we used to open packages. "Leah?" Jess whispered, rubbing the sleep from her eyes. "You did this. You made the videos." Leah's voice cracked. Jess laughed nervously. "Okay, you seriously need to chill. Nobody made anything. You're freaking out over..." "Don't lie. You used that stupid program. I can tell." I sat up. "Leah, just..." "Alright, even if I did, it was a joke." "Jesus, Leah, it's not like anyone actually..." "It was my face, Jess." Leah's voice got louder. "Leah, please, just put the scissors down. We can fix..." "It's everywhere," Leah sobbed. "People won't stop talking. Matthew tore up my assignment today, said there's no point in pretending if I'm just gonna sleep my way to A's. The dean wants to see me tomorrow. I thought maybe I'd just end it tonight. But then I realized, even if I'm gone, you'll keep making more of me. Another fake Leah for your sick fun." My stomach dropped. I could see her raising the scissors while making short steps toward Jess. "So maybe the only way to stop it is to stop you." Leah paused, staring at Jess with bloodshot eyes. Then, Screaming like a hungry wolf, she lunged. I heard a wet thud followed by Jess's croaky wheeze. "Leah, stop!" I shrieked, horrified. Jess was trying to get away, crawling backwards, but Leah grabbed a fistful of Jess's hair and yanked her back down. Jess screamed. I jumped to my feet and tried to intervene, but Leah shoved me away. I could smell blood in the air. She climbed on top of Jess and rained punches all over her face. I grabbed Leah's shoulders, begging her to stop, but she was out of control. She whipped around, her face inches from mine. Her eyes didn't look human anymore. They were wide and glowing. Jess's blood was smeared across her chin. Before I could move away, her hands curled around my throat. The pressure was instant. I couldn't breathe. I clawed at her arms, but she didn't flinch. The room started spinning. Black spots bloomed in my vision. I had no other choice. I kicked her. She stumbled back, letting me go. I rolled onto my side, gasping, coughing. Jess was in the corner, holding her bleeding scalp. She probably never expected her prank could take such a sinister turn. Leah picked up the scissors again. "It wasn't funny!" Leah kept repeating. I started crawling towards the door. My hand slipped on something slick. Behind me, Jess made a sound like air escaping before silence took over. I somehow made it to the hallway and screamed until the doors opened and someone grabbed my shoulders. Security had to drag Leah off Jess. She was still thrashing blindly and repeating those words. Jess had to spend a month in the hospital. Leah stabbed her in the stomach, resulting in 20 stitches. Not just that, Jess also ended up with a fractured skull and lots of cuts and bruises all over her arms and legs. She was expelled for the deepfake videos. We lost contact. I dropped out 2 weeks later. Couldn't handle everyone staring. Leah got charged with assault. Her lawyer said she had a breakdown from harassment. I wasn't charged because I didn't make the videos, but everyone knew I was the front row spectator. The case made headlines as the deepfake incident. Professors turned it into a case study. Journalists called it a glimpse of the future. But behind all that noise, I kept hearing one question. If a lie can look that real, how long before the truth stops mattering at all? I tell myself I was scared, that I didn't know it would get this bad, that I'm a victim too. But late at night, I know that's bullshit. I could have stopped it. I didn't because I kept telling myself people would figure it out, that no one would believe a 30-second clip over a person they'd known for months. That the truth would be obvious, but it wasn't. Leah's in a psychiatric facility now. Probably will be for years. Her whole life's gone because we thought a prank would be funny. It happened the summer I turned 17. My cousin Rowan came to crash at our place for the weekend. He'd always been a scaredy cat. He'd get scared of the dark, bugs, and basically anything that moves. My friends and I used to mess with him all the time. It was harmless, just for laughs. Or at least that's what I thought. Our house backed up to this old graveyard that's been there since the 1800s. Most people don't even know it's there, hidden behind a bunch of trees and this rusty old fence. The graves are ancient. Its headstones are covered in moss, and nobody goes there except maybe on Memorial Day. Friday night, we were watching horror movies when Rowan started talking about this girl, Madison, from his school. He had a huge crush on her, but was too scared to make a move. That's when it hit me. It'd be the perfect prank. I had this old Halloween dummy in the garage that looked realistic enough in the dark. My plan was simple. I would set it up on the stone bench near the back fence, then catfish Rowan into thinking Madison wanted to meet him there. He'd see the dummy, freak out, and I'd get the whole thing on video. Saturday afternoon, while Rowan was inside gaming, I set everything up. I propped the dummy on the bench so it looked like someone had slumped over and threw one of my mom's old jackets on it. The bench sat maybe 50 yards from the fence, surrounded by overgrown graves. It looked creepy as hell, and I couldn't wait to see Rowan's face. That night, around 10:30, I texted him from a fake number pretending to be Madison. I flirted with him for a bit, and I asked him to come meet me at the old graveyard bench at 11. Bro, Madison wants to meet me at the graveyard at 11. He shoved his phone in my face, grinning like an idiot. You coming? I shrugged. I don't know, man. Graveyard at 11? It sounds like a setup. Come on, he said, still smiling. Don't make me go alone. I pretended to think about it, like I had better things to do, then said, all right, fine, but if she's not there, you owe me a mac and cheese. We grabbed flashlights and climbed the fence around 11. It was dead quiet except for the crickets and the soft howls of the wind. The graveyard was lit just enough to see shapes. Everything else was shadows. We walked between the graves. Our flashlights cut through the dark. Rowan kept checking his phone, asking if I thought Madison was already there. When we got close, I pointed my flashlight toward the bench. The light hit, and my stomach dropped. 2 figures were sitting there. One was the dummy, right where I left it. But next to it sat a man, perfectly still, head tilted sideways. He was humming a lullaby, soft and slow, like he was putting a baby to sleep. I whispered, maybe Madison brought her brother. Rowan gave me this look. Not funny, man. Relax, I said, pretending it was fine. Probably just... Suddenly, the man stopped humming. His neck made this awful popping sound, like the bones didn't want to move as he turned toward us. The beam hit his face, and I swear my heart just froze. His eyes were slick and shiny, and something was leaking out of them. It dripped down his cheeks and caught the light. He reached over and brushed the dummy's hair tenderly, like it was flirting with his lover. My wife looked just like this when I killed her, he purred. My blood went cold. For a second, Rowan and I stood there dumbfounded, the man still staring at us with a vicious smile. Suddenly, an owl hooted nearby, and I realized my prank had gone too far. Rowan whispered to me, asking why is there a dummy on the bench, and who is that man? But I had no answers. I just whispered back, we need to leave. All of a sudden, the man got up from the bench and slowly walked closer to us. Don't be scared. Come, let's sit all together and sing. It would be fun. I grabbed Rowan and bolted like our lives depended on it. Behind us, footsteps crunched through the dead leaves. We could also hear his spine-chilling laughter. It was louder now, chasing us through the graves. Rowan tripped over, but I yanked him up. The footsteps were getting closer. His laughter was still echoing into the night. We hit the fence and threw ourselves over it. When I looked back, the man was standing there at the bars, one hand reaching through. He was still laughing and waving at us. We got home and locked every door. We stayed up all night with the lights on. When I finally calmed down, I told Rowan about the prank. He was no doubt upset to hear about the fake messages and about the dummy, but I swore I had no idea who that man was. Both of us stayed awake the entire night, fearing the man had followed us home. Every small sound made us flinch. The next morning, I realized I dropped my phone. I had to go back. I went alone, in daylight. The dummy was gone. The bench was empty, but my phone was lying in the grass with its screen cracked. I never told my parents. I know they would blame me for being stupid and risking our lives. Rowan didn't talk to me for a week. His anger is justified. I still see Rowan on the weekends, but he never stays out after dark. I know he still thinks about that man, how he was stroking the dummy's hair like it was something precious. We both will never forget about what he said he did to his wife.